Cool. Steve, why don't you introduce yourself to us and tell us a little bit about who you are?
Yeah, brilliant. I'm Steve. I'm the vicar or pastor of St John's Crawley. We've been living in Crawley since 2014. So we started a little over at Worth, and then we moved to Brighton for a year, as in church, but stayed in Crawley. This is me and my wife and 3 daughters. And then we've been in St John's now nearly coming up to 3 years, where we came from St Peter's, Brighton, to revitalise a church in the town centre, St John's. And it's been a great adventure. Still haven't got a clue what we're doing 95% of the time, but God seems to know what he wants us to do sometimes, despite of ourselves. And yeah, it's been great. We fell in love with Crawley when we moved here, in 2014. And so we've been here since, and you got a privilege to lead a church and do mission in the town centre, which is going to be really crucial.
Great. And so kind of for Crawley as a town, kind of what's the dream for Love Your Neighbour? What would the next year look like? Obviously, there's things coming down the track which we don't want to come down the track, and so that's not the dream situation. But in terms of the church's ability to respond to our world and to the crisis that's coming, what sort of things can we get involved with?
Yeah, I think it all comes out, doesn't it, from our discipleship. So there's that strand, we've got to be with Jesus and become like Jesus, but we've got to do what Jesus did. And there's certain elements which we do with the Lord's Supper or communion. That's I think COVID has taught us as church leaders it's inside out. We're an inside out kind of church. It really matters more what happens during the week. And me and Liz, and we're starting to dream, I guess, where the 3 strands that we're looking at, particularly with government funding being possibly available with a joint bid, is employment. So we're looking at how we can get people into employment again. And so that's one of the big dreams that we can get together as churches. Food provision. So we're going to get behind the Easter team and all the other great agencies there are doing that. So the Easter team and CAP, you need to speak to them. So it's having that central hub contact, and the town centre presence helps in that, and as does really great presence right across all the different churches. So we sat down really early and looked at the resources we've all got, which means the resources of people and volunteers, the resources of money to an extent, but really the resources of what's going on already and what could fly even more, and the resourcing of our buildings. What are we using our buildings for? Because the desire would be meeting people. The big vision is to see transformed lives with the gospel of Jesus Christ. And what we've said as church leaders right from the word go, we're not just some social action group. We have a God that we want to point to, and a person in Jesus and the Holy Spirit that will transform lives. And that's the exciting conversations we're having, is we are stepping forward as churches in a time of need. I think that would be the big vision, but I don't know what it looks like. And that's the exciting thing, is we're all in conversations together to see what it looks like.
And so obviously one of the big resources that churches have are volunteers and people with great personalities and skills and diversity of background and ability. So what sort of ways can they get involved and bring those skills out?
Yeah, so short term, they can volunteer, and we point them to the Easter team if they want to volunteer. The Easter team is also looking at how there's only one sort of forms you have to do safer recruiting as a volunteer, and we're making that much easier. There's phone a friend. There's loads of different tasks of doing shopping for people. We're increasingly getting people that are in need of being moved in social housing, and we're providing furniture for them. So we need people to help move. We need people to pray for people. We need people to do help the NHS in different ways. So when people are being discharged from hospital, we're looking at how we can bless those people and connect with them as they go out of hospital. And so we're constantly reviewing the way we can get involved, and it's constantly changing. But it's really exciting because there's lots of different ways you can get involved. And it all it depends on what time you can give. So it could be doing a shopping in an evening alongside your own shopping. It could be phoning someone once a week. You know, our desire, I think, as church leaders, is the tide is rising and all the boats are lifting up. Because it's not about, strangely enough, St. John's hasn't got all the answers. And I'm sure Elim haven't got all the answers. But something about revival is about real, genuine unity. And that's what our desire is to see for the town.
Excellent.
I think all four of us, you know, the four of us gathering have been talking about, wow, we're just really building on what your vision, Jamie, that was, I think, is what the hub is coming into being, which is that place where people who've got a desire to volunteer for different agencies with Christian agencies, you know, that Freshers' Fair idea of you can go here, you can go here, you can go here, but it's somehow got that umbrella organisation that doesn't belong to one church. Right now, obviously, we're pushing as the HTB Network funding. Our desire is to step back and be one of the partners of making it fly very shortly.
Excellent. Thank you, Steve, for joining us and for kind of giving us some of that vision. We're going to be praying for you, and we're going to rally behind this. And so thank you for taking some time out just to come and share that with us.
Yeah. No, I think, you know, when I meet anyone from your church, we're always blown away by how spirit-filled they are and how they've got a desire to serve other people. So they are inspirational people. That's something about the church you lead. So we're really for you, and we just admire what you're doing there, Jamie. So it's really, really great to be partnering together in this more tangible way.
Great. Bless you guys.